What's going on? I just watched Gojiman's most recent video about Candida and parasites, and I just wanted to share some additional comments on that because, as usual, he's just parroting the medical mainstream opinion on the topic, which is most of the time not correct and also not really correct in this case. So I wanted to just present, some additional information for people who actually want to get the grounds to the root truth of this subject, or at least get some of it. He starts off with saying that symptoms of parasites, for example, are difficult to pick up. Why? Why is this the case, Gojiboy? Have you ever thought of a biological reason why this could be the case? Why symptoms, why parasites in general are so difficult to pick up? Is something that is so difficult to pick up really a harm to your body? And how stupid would it be from a parasitical point of view if it would infect you and kill you right away because it causes so many symptoms? It's going into you, killing you right away, and killing itself along the way because the parasite can't survive without a host, right? That's why it wants to live in you, because it wants to live, and as long as you don't live, itself cannot live, it cannot survive. So it would be pretty stupid from a parasitical point of view to kill you. In fact, it would be pretty smart to not cause any symptoms, to just live commensally inside of your body, which a lot of them do actually. They don't cause any positive or negative side effects. These are the smartest of them all. Actually, not really. The smartest of them all are those which cause positive effects in your body, because these will get fed by your body. Your body wants to cultivate them because they allow him to run more efficiently, your body. So really the most smart parasites are the ones who are actually live in symbiosis with your body, and that's why they are not really parasites anymore. They are symbionts, so-called symbionts. So the question really is, how many of these so-called quote-unquote parasites are in fact just symbionts who are living alongside of us, helping us to dissolve decaying tissue, helping us to get rid of diseased cells, basically eating them, digesting them, and helping us get rid of them via the digesting pathway, so to say. This is already one very big thing. A lot of these so-called parasites, they are really just commensals. They are really just symbionts most of the time. And I want you to think about one medical treatment that you might have heard of already. If you are having an open wound in your skin, which is, surrounded by decomposing, rotting flesh, infected by bad bacteria and stuff like that, there is a very even medically approved treatment for that, and that is the placement of fly maggots in these wounds. And these fly maggots are gonna start eating away this decaying tissue, and once they reach the border where it turns into this pink, alive, healthy tissue, they're gonna stop eating. They're not gonna touch that stuff. They only touch the rotting, decaying, bad tissue. And by this, they make the healing of your wound much more efficient. Because simply then you can remove these maggots and the wound will heal much quicker, because it doesn't have to fight off this bad, rotting flesh, which is full of bad bacteria because it's not alive anymore. So this is one medically approved way on using these kind of organisms to actually further healing inside of the body. Now you have to know that insects, which these fly maggots are very closely related to worms and roundworms on the biological tree, and really probably they do around the same thing. And that's why also turpentine, for example, which is one suggested remedy for parasites, is very effective against both insects and parasites. Effective in a way that it kills them off, But the question again is, should you really kill them off if they are actually beneficial? Now, I'm not saying that all of them are beneficial. Nature is not black and white. Of course, there will be some that are slightly unbeneficial, but again, none of those are going to be so detrimental to you that they instantly gonna kill you, at least if you're a healthy, being. Because again, that would kill themselves, and they are not going to do that. They wouldn't have survived evolution if that was their strategy. I hope that makes sense. So he proceeds with saying that Candida and parasites go hand in hand, and mentions that they both excrete bad exotoxins, and the exotoxins of the Candida helps parasites to thrive, and the exotoxins of parasites help the Candida to thrive. That makes a lot of sense, because both of them just want to kill you. They just want to kill you, and they want to kill themselves alongside this process. No, Candida and parasites go hand in hand because, again, the reason why they are there is that you have a lot of decaying, rotting, unhealthy cells inside of your body, and they are going to get rid of that. They are going to actually help you to get rid of that. They're going to digest it, reduce it to less harmful substances which can be excreted by your body more easily through the digestive route. And that's what they do. The more toxic you are, the more unhealthy you are, the more decaying tissue you have inside of your body, the more parasites and Candida you are going to, have, because they are really the janitors of your body. Not only in your digestive tract, but this is of course the main place where they live, but also if you're very unhealthy, throughout your whole body, in your brain, in your fatty tissue, in your muscles, in your organs, everywhere where there is prolonged decaying, degrading of tissue going on because of your unhealthy lifestyle, essentially. Another reason why parasites and Candida go hand in hand in your digestive tract is actually because of alkalinity. And of course, Gojiman is not going to mention that, because that would go against the vegan agenda. And it would also, it would be very nutritionally accurate and very actually deep, and a good logical understanding of nutrition. And of course, he's a nutritionist, and he doesn't really have that. He doesn't really talk about that. Parasites and Candida love an alkaline environment, or let's say they survive easily in an alkaline environment, which means that an alkaline environment is not really a natural state for us humans to have in our digestive tract. And this is another truth here. A very healthy human being is going to have a very acidic digestive environment, very acidic stomach, very acidic stomach acid, and he's also going to excrete a lot of acids throughout the whole tubes of the intestines, and especially the small intestines. And a lot of acid-loving bacteria are going to thrive there. They are going to digest especially raw animal products very efficiently. And all of this environment is not going to let parasites thrive a lot, because they simply are going to get digested as well, in this kind of environment. That's why Candida, once it is allowed to progress to the fungal form from the single cellular form, which is really not an issue, to the fungal form, Candida is going to start to try to build up this biofilm to protect itself from these acids, and it's going to do so by excreting alkaline substances. Okay, so really these organisms, they don't like acidity a lot, and it's going to go hand in hand that acidity causes a more healthy environment in your body in general, and it's not going to allow them to thrive. So we can see here that alkalinity caused by very fruity diets, for example, fruits are not only going to be digested in an alkaline environment, but they also contain a lot of sugar, which is another thing that Candida and parasites love. Again, we could discuss whether that is because they actually want to protect your system from these carbohydrate shocks, or whether they just love it in general. But anyway, they love sugar, they love fruits because it turns your digestive environment alkaline, and it's going to allow them to thrive, essentially. So this is the connection here between Candida and parasites, and why they often go hand in hand. He talks about another misconception, that is that parasites come from the tropics. which is true. That is a misconception. Parasites really can come from anywhere on the planet, apart from the the poles maybe where it's super cold. But it's irrelevant considering another much more relevant misconception, namely that parasites come from raw animal foods compared to raw plant foods, which is just blatant wrong. By far, the most parasite infections come actually from raw plant foods, such as salads, and from water, from infected water. And how that happens is that these plant foods, these leaves, get fertilized with poo from animals, essentially, and that's how parasites spread. Parasites lay eggs inside of our intestines, and you poo them out. And another animal eats it and gets that parasite again, and then they live in this animal, as long as the conditions allow it for this parasite. Again, if it's a super healthy animal, super acidic environment in the digestive tract, in case of a carnivore, or at least obligate carnivore, then it's not going to really thrive. But again, these janitors, they go around in nature and find those individuals who might need a little bit of help, and then they thrive in them. So yeah, this is the more important misconception here. Most parasites come from infected water and infected plants because they get fertilized with poo, or the water gets contaminated with poo. He continues in saying that one major symptom of Candida is a white tongue, which is correct. Skin issues, which is correct as well. And that you have to get tested because, they are really bad. And of course, you can order the tests on his website. He proceeds to saying that although you can test yourself, these tests are very rarely accurate because parasites actually live in life cycles, and they proceed from eggs to larvae to adult forms, and then back to eggs to larvae. So what's really the point of testing it when you can't really say that you have a parasite after that anyway? Yeah, apart from the fact that there's really no point in treating them anyway if they don't even cause so hard symptoms that you're not even sure if you actually have them, Anyway, if you then get a positive result from these tests, you can treat this stuff down the medical route, with super toxic substances that are going to intoxicate your own body as well. Remember, something that kills off completely one biological organism will not leave another biological organism completely unharmed. Okay, does that make sense? Parasites, just as we are multicellular organisms, they are living, inside of us. They move. They have certain structures that are similar to ours. So something that's gonna completely kill them, it's for sure gonna at least harm us a little bit as well. And this is the case with all of these medical treatments, with all medical treatments against bacteria as well, antibiotics. I mean, apart from the fact that it's total stupidity to erase bacteria from your body most of the time, antibiotics, of course, have negative effects on our cells as well. I mean, we consist of, I don't know how many bacterial cells, more bacterial cells even than, animal cells. So really, it's just a stupid route to go down. If you have parasites, or if you suspect you're having parasites, let them run their course and try to get healthier. Simply try to get healthier. Make the acidic environment of your stomach and intestines more acidic. Get healthier. Reduce the amount of decaying, decomposing tissue in your body, and they will have nothing to eat. They will have no reason to stay, and they're going to leave with time, If they are done with their job, they're just gonna leave. You're gonna pull them out, and they're gonna wait for another individual that needs a little bit of help, and then they go in there and help it. This might be a little bit of a too, unicorn rainbow view of the subject, but that's really how a lot of them work. I'm not gonna say all of them, because again, nature is not black and white. Some of them for sure are a bit negative, but a lot of them are for sure a bit positive, and a lot of them are neutral, So, and this is simple biology. It would be very stupid of them to be super detrimental for you and kill you instantly. And the same is, by the way, true for all viruses and bacteria out there. It would be stupid to kill you off instantly, because then they can't proliferate. They need a host to live, you know. I mean, parasites, viruses are not actually alive, as you know, but for parasites and bacteria, that is definitely the case. Yeah, so that's the point. That's the points really that I wanted to make. Don't fall for this. All of this stuff is so bad thing, especially if it doesn't really cause any obvious symptoms. You know, is it really bad if it's causing any obvious? If it isn't really causing any obvious symptoms, I don't know. And there's been a lot of scientific work actually into the area. There's cancer being healed via viruses that attack the cancer. There is digestive issues being healed by actually on purpose ingesting parasites and getting infected with parasites. I think trichinosis is one of these examples, which has the potential to cure irritable bowel syndrome and stuff like that. So really, are they so bad? That's the question here. Maybe something to think about. Anyway, see you soon.